Welcome back. This is episode 6, 7.
You lose count after so many episodes.
Drink Local. I'm Benjamin Anglin with Team 1010, and next to me is Pete Ahern, brewmaster, founding brewmaster for Ballast Point. And then joining us today is Scott Wynett. He is the food and beverage director here at Vue Grille and Bar, which is also located at the Indian Wells Golf Resort. So Scott's been nice enough to bring some beers here for us. So let's give it a swirl. See what
so Scott, you're telling us St. Archer, Dan and Santa, you're the only place in the valley that's carrying St. Archer beer?
Yeah, we originally launched it in July, and we're the first place outside of San Diego to launch that. And recently, I think in the last month, it's gone into Orange County and starting LA, I think, this week. But for a good 3-4 months there, we were the only place carrying it.
And do you have a personal connection to St. Archer, or just a big fan?
I do. A close friendship with Paul Tralka, who is one of their sales reps, who was with Primo and PBR prior to that. So made that connection down in San Diego, reconnected, and then launched it.
And you're carrying all three.
All
right?
three.
All three.
Yeah. They have a seasonal that they launched, which we went through in about 4 days. They had a stout that flew through in the cold days there that we had.
The 2 cold days that we had this pseudo winter.
Right.
Yeah. So delicious beer, but couldn't keep it on there.
All right.
Good.
And what are we drinking here?
This is St. Archer's Blonde.
Okay. Smells very German. Lots of definitely sort of Pilsner kind of hops. Probably Tettnanger, Hallertauer in there.
It's a delicious, light, easy drinking beer.
This would go great after playing golf here.
Great after playing golf.
Wouldn't it be?
It's great anytime. I could drink it.
Very, very light. This is a Kolsch, and I'm a Kolsch fan. Or up until the Sculpin came along, Ballast Point's biggest beer was the Ballast Point Pale Ale, which is a Kolsch. And I lived in Cologne for a while, so I love Kolsch. And when I saw you had a Kolsch on tap, I had to try it.
So earlier, Scott, we were talking about how when you first came out that there really wasn't much of a craft beer scene at all.
Right.
And so, can you explain? I mean, you what the response has been for you here with bringing some more of the craft beers?
You know, it's been a real welcoming feedback. When we got out here, I started here about 9 months ago. You know, coming from San Diego, where it's real craft beer centric and kind of the hub of the world.
Right.
You know, bringing some of those flavors out here, where obviously we get a lot of guests coming out to play golf who are out here from San Diego or Orange County, LA. And so they're looking for something that they can identify with, you know, and something that they don't necessarily get to try everywhere. So we brought that to at least the east side of the valley. I know that there's some places in Palm Springs that are doing it, but wasn't really anywhere out here on this side of the valley that was doing that. So
No, Coachella Valley was a big beer wasteland for a long time, and it's really exciting to see that the energy is starting to develop for craft beer out here.
yeah, I mean, we brought in some La Quinta beers. La Quinta Brewing has really come on strong here in the last 2 months. So tried to add that component in there as well.
And like you were saying, Peter said, it's exciting now that we have 2 breweries, well, really, and 3, and we've got Babes also. So we've got three of our own breweries here in the Coachella Valley.
Yeah.
There's probably 3 on one block in San Diego. Just about.
It's getting there. What is it, like 60? It's over 60 at last count.
Yeah, it's got to be at least that. It's hard to keep up out there. So.
And then with different breweries having multiple locations.
So what are you looking for when you in food and beverage when you're going to pick your craft beer? I mean, obviously you said you had that relationship with St. Archer, but when you start thinking, okay, well, I only have so many pull handles. Obviously you want to distinguish yourself different than others in the valley that are offering craft beer. But when you make your selections, I mean, what is it that you're looking for?
You know, I try and put myself in the guest shoes. I mean, my wife always jokes with me because I'm kind of the light beer drinker of the two of us. I mean, we go out and she's the pale ale or the IPA, or I'm always the blonde or the Pilsner, something lighter. From my own particular, what I'm looking for is something that all of our guests can relate to. Again, I might not be the one that's going to go in and order an IPA, but I want to find something that, as an introductory, that a guest can go to an IPA, and it's not going to be something that's overpowering or going to put them off from drinking it in the future. our staff can educate them on it and talk to them as far as getting them to try something new. And again, sometimes you get some that are so strong as an introductory period that some guests aren't going to go for it necessarily. Yeah. So.
And I think that there's that misconception about whether it's craft beer or about wine is that people are like, oh, I don't like this. I'm not a wine snob. I just like what And the thing is, as a brewmaster, you brew it to drink.
Sure.
And you brew multiple types because you have something that's your favorite, but also because you know that you want an introductory type of a beer or something like that. So I think there's never ever need to apologize for something like that because it's like drink what you like, right?
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you, I think most brewmasters and people in the beer industry, if you look at what they have on tap at their own house, yeah, they have some, they get really into some intense stuff and interesting stuff, which I always have bottles of around. But I think most brewmasters keep something that's light on tap at their house because sometimes you just want to knock something back that's easy to drink. So
yeah,
especially in the summers out here.
It's a nice cool summer.
Yeah.
So then that's a two-part question. Then.
Sure.
One is this is kind of a Kolsch type. So how do you what are your thoughts on this? And the second part of the question is, being that brewmaster, you have some crazy science projects working on your refrigerator for beer. What do you have at home?
But at home right now, I have the Ballast Point Pale Ale on tap, which is our Kolsch, and I have the Sculpin on tap. Right, those are the two I have. I kind of go back and forth between the Sculpin and the Big Eye. I always like to have an IPA on tap, and then keep some other stuff in bottles. Sculpin and the Big Eye, I really like both of them, but Sculpin's the one that gets all the buzz.
The Sea
Big Eye's a little maltier.
The Sea Monster is pretty gosh darn good too.
Yeah, I don't think I need that on tap every day. It's not, but I definitely have a couple bottles that stashed away there. So, but yeah, as this goes for a Kolsch, really nice light body, very, very authentic. Definitely tastes like something that you'd have in Cologne. And in Cologne, they drink it in a really tall, skinny glass like that, and you kind of knock them back pretty fast.
A beaker type?
It's like it's called a Stange, a stick, and I think it's a 0.2 liter.
Okay.
And the waiter will pretty much just come in. If you're about halfway done, he'll throw another one down. And if you don't want another one, you cover yours with a coaster.
Really?
Yeah, because they'll just keep throwing ones down, and
I love that.
Until you pretty much signal to stop.
Well, this goes down pretty good.
It does go down pretty good, and
it's light. It's
and you can't do this with an IPA.
Well, you can.
Well, you can, but no. Like I said, a very nice, authentic Kolsch. Definitely, very German in the hopping. The finish is it's a really well done Kolsch. So when it's hot, come down to Vue and have a St. Archer.
11 months out of the year.
And what's it called? The Golden? They're calling it
Blonde.
The Blonde.
Yeah.
The Blonde. All right.
And we're in. It's the sushi bar. Is that right?
This is our sushi bar.
This is something new.
Yeah, we just put this fish tank in last week. So it'll be a saltwater fish tank, and we got some starter fish in there right now, but another 3 weeks we'll get.
So these aren't the fish that supply the sushi bar.
I thought it'd just been busy today.
No, yeah.
This doesn't supply the sushi bar.
No, as much as our chef over there is wanting to steal the fish out of here and make it his own little grab and go.
That would be cool.
We're keeping him away from that.
All right, good to know.
So yeah, but we do all you can eat sushi here, Monday through Saturday nights. We're only closed Sundays.
Okay.
All you can eat sushi is $25. For happy hour from 3 to 6, we do it for $23. So
that's a great deal.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is great. Now, and I know we talked earlier, Pete. Both of us, we were just surprised at how busy it was when we were walking in. I mean, is that?
I just pulling into the parking lot. I was like, "What is going on here? Is this Tuesday night? This place is crazy."
Yeah. I'm telling you,
this is the most busy place in the whole valley.
It's a complimentary valet. We're gonna get you every time.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
Is there anything else? I mean, that's happening here. That I mean, obviously, like I said, it was very busy. So you might be having an event, I'm guessing, or
yeah. So tonight we're doing an event for all the Indian Wells residents. We're doing a social. We do a social for them twice a year, and so tonight is the second of those two. We do one in November and then one now. And having just opened our pavilion right across our bridge there, holds 400 guests. So it was the perfect chance to showcase that for all of our residents. Yeah.
So that's, I think we were talking a little bit earlier, is that's a great place that now you can accommodate, larger size parties for weddings and things like that. So, so I know that the women want to have a lovely view of, when they get married, and then the guys, you could have craft beer, right? I mean, it's
Absolutely.
You could come in and throw down a couple.
We have a craft beer option on our banquet menu.
Awesome.
One of the only places doing that. So.
All right. So what are we drinking now here, Scott?
This is our St. Archer IPA.
Okay. Oh wow.
That's nice.
Got a little to it.
That's, it's not like the one where you're just going to throw that back there.
No.
A little lighter style on the IPA, but definitely a nice hoppy finish there. But not as monstrous as something like you were talking about. You want an IPA that's approachable, that doesn't scare. I've never had an IPA before. Here's my first IPA. Oh my God, I'm terrified of it. Definitely an approachable IPA, but really tasty.
Yeah, got a lot of flavor to it, but I would classify it as that introductory IPA. It's not going to scare you away from drinking them ever again.
Yeah, nice lingering bitterness on the finish.
Right.
Aroma is not overly piney, maybe more floral.
Yeah, I was going to say almost a bit of a honey type. Almost.
Yeah, definitely American hopping, but not super aggressive. Mm-hmm. Not super, kind of more resinous, but more floral, more.
That's a good finish to it.
Trying to come up with some description. You guys keep talking while I taste and think
It's okay.
here. It's like dead air. I'm
enjoying
just
the
sitting
view
here
right now.
thinking.
We're enjoying.
You know what we need to do then is we need to
Kind of almost a little peppery spiciness to that.
It does
in the
have
background.
some like white pepper kind of.
Yeah,
taste to
for
it, in the
sure.
back.
I'm trying to.
What we need to do is get a balance point, and just sneak it in and see. It's like,
There you go.
Slip it through there.
I think I can call it. Well, there you go. We can.
We got the whole Ballast Point Spirits too. Is that part of your?
We have the Ballast Point Spirits, and they just opened. We talked about it at. I think we talked about it last week at the Kena Brewing Company. But there's a new law January 1st that now micro distillers can have a tasting room. So they open a tasting. They open a tasting room, and I think they're doing 4 times a day. Really a bargain. $10. You get a tour of the distillery, and then you get 4 quarter-ounce pours in the tasting room. And they've got these tiny little thistle glasses. They got a little thing that meters out a quarter-ounce pour. So,
Really?
and yeah, you can taste 6 of the Old Grove gin, the Fugu vodka, the Devil's Share whiskey, the moonshine, the rum, the 3 Sheets rum. So both the barrel aged and the white rum.
We have them all here except for the whiskey.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, our mixologist is all hyped on it. So.
Oh, awesome. Well, good to hear.
you mentioned, so
Get down here and have some Ballast Point. Have a nice Ballast Point martini.
There you go. So
Yeah, the whiskey's impossible to get.
Mixologist.
Yeah.
So
Tell us about that. What's the
So again, with kind of looking at the direction of here and kind of going into the microbrews and the farm-to-table cuisine and, really preparing everything in-house, we had to have a spirits program that matched all that and kind of went with it. And so we have a spirits program that our mixologist we brought over. He's been all around the country. Most recently he was at Sasper's here in the valley. But he made me spend $1,500 on the juicer for him, so I got these juicers, making all his own juices, and he makes all of his own ginger beer in house. Moscow Mules are ever popular right now, so we have a homemade ginger beer with him. He's making a homemade prickly pear soda that he does with some different things.
nice.
With the Old Grove gin, actually. So
you could get something of that mixed with the Ballast Point.
yeah, so it'll change seasonally along with our chefs. So the two of them work together, and when chefs changing a menu, then Javier will change a menu, and
Awesome.
it goes pretty nice together. Yeah.
Very cool. So another reason to get down to Vue and drink local.
Absolutely. Local spirits, local beer.
And it looks like a great place to watch a game, actually. If you want
We've
to.
got TVs all over the place. It seems like.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we just added about 10 more TVs in here. So really gave it that whole bar feel.
I'm just thinking. So on Sunday for the playoffs, I and a couple friends did a little bit of a pub crawl, and You know what? We had a hard time finding a good place to watch a game. There were a lot of small TVs and TVs with glare on it, but this place you could park yourself for a long Sunday afternoon and take in a few games, it looks like.
Yeah, Sundays are great. I mean, this last Sunday was awesome. We do a bottomless champagne brunch. So $24.95, you get bottomless champagne, you get a Bloody Mary for $3 more with some Fugu vodka. Sit back and relax and enjoy all the games.
Bloody Marys with Fugu, awesome.
Right?
And is the brunch kind of stations, or is it where it's off the menu, just order something?
We actually, because we're closed in the sushi bar on Sundays, so we use this whole area in here and make all of our stations. So we have an omelet bar and carving stations. $24.95.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Bottomless champagne.
Bottomless champagne.
I don't know that I need bottomless champagne early on I don't know. I don't have that many Sundays I just completely want to waste. But, yeah, there you go.
You get a craft beer with it? You're set.
Yeah, there you go. Bottomless craft beer. No,
Yeah.
That I could go for.
Might be a new night I might have to add there.
Bottomless craft beer.
Well,
how does that, does the local police have an issue with bottomless? Just stand out there and put a DUI checkpoint?
They haven't yet. I think we've lucked out because we're owned by the city. So
there you go.
I don't think they want to.
That's good.
So with the craft beers, all of the staff, obviously, they've been educated on the different wares of craft beers and obviously the spirits. So they can help you make a selection if you're first coming in and like, I hear this craft beer thing, but what do I do? Right?
Yeah, we started that whole training last year, actually in June, when we started bringing in some different craft beers.
Okay.
And then every Monday, and we're getting back to that in another week, where each Monday we'll have a different brewery come in and do a tasting from 5 to 6. So they'll set up a table out there and taste all the guests on some different beers. And we'll run that beer as a special that night. But it's good for the staff too to try those different things.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
So,
and you've got that progressive tap. So, just kind of something you want to try something new. Say, or how do you select what the progressive tap is?
Once we get into doing those tastings next week, that progressive tap will probably be a beer from whoever's doing that tasting that week. Yeah, but it's also a chance for us to try out some new beers, and really, if we have a clientele that loves it, it'll be something that'll find a permanent home on our list. So,
how many pulls then do you have?
We have 8 right now. We have another 4 downstairs, which are completely separate. We do some of the Hangar 24 beers downstairs.
Okay.
So, only because I live in Redlands right now, and my wife makes me carry some Redlands beer.
Yeah, you better. I hear Redlands is tight that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a close-knit little group.
That's what they say. I never hung out there long, but I've heard people from Redlands be like, everybody in Redlands has each other's back.
It's Mayberry, but in color.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Got to hang out in Redlands more.
I can't say too many bad things about Redlands. I was born and raised there.
I don't think it was a bad thing I said about Redlands. I said people are tight there.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, I can't believe he insulted our town. He said people are tight there. People got each other's back. Man, what an insult.
No, it was a good place to grow up.
That's funny.
Yeah, so. But
Redlands Crips are going to get him.
They're going to be watching out for me now.
Yeah.
I think that they...
Yeah.
So, what other types of local craft beer news have you heard? Either one of you, have you heard about either stuff happening with? Can we call it just BP?
Ballast Point. What's going on? Well, the R&D program. So now the Little Italy has the 5-barrel brewing company, or the 5-barrel brew house.
Oh, wow.
And they're basically letting staff, anybody on staff, form a team and brew a beer. And the beer is, going to be put on tap down there, and people are going to taste it and ask for more of it or not ask for more of it. And it's the research and development program. So
that's very cool.
They're kind of just letting, because a lot of people are, okay, I'm working at a brewery and I love beer, but I'm on the bottling line, but I'm an avid home brewer and I'd love to try scaling up one of my recipes. So they're pretty much letting anybody on the staff form a teams of 3 or 4.
That's
and
nice.
And put a recipe up, and they're available at Little Italy and at the Scripps location, and Home Brew Mart, the original Ballast Point, which is at the Home Brew Mart location. That is they're in the process of expanding that location, putting in a new tasting bar. They only have about 12 taps, so they need about 30 to really keep up. And they're allowed to serve pints now. So finally, the ABC relented on the tasters only, and you can get a pint now at the Homebrew Mart location.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so that's exciting.
And so now, the cans that you have, right?
Yes.
So you have a canning line now.
Right.
So, other than you just have 2 that are canned?
No, it's Sculpin is canned, the Pale Ale, the Big Eye IPA, and the Longfin Lager are canned. And I think the next one for the canning, I just saw the kind of early graphic layout, is going to be the Even Keel, which is a session ale, which is a low alcohol but darker and hoppier. So a lower alcohol beer, easy drinking, easy on the but big on flavor.
Nice.
So easy on the alcohol, big on the flavor. Session ale in England is just something you can sit and drink a lot of and not get too inebriated. So for like Sunday watching a game, you're watching all the games all day, have a session ale, and yeah.
Drinking session.
So light on the alcohol, big on the flavor, and it looks like Even Keel's going to be the next one.
Okay.
So
That'll work good on our golf carts. We're going to go to craft beers on our golf carts.
Oh.
yeah,
Craft on the course type thing.
excellent.
So-
And are you part of the person who helps? Or
Yeah.
do you
That
all
would
the
be
buying
me.
for the whole place, or just for Vue?
Anything food and beverage in the building.
Okay, got it. All right.
So, obviously, if I get 2 out there, then my GM will reel me back in. But
Got it. Yeah. No, you want some cans, or then, like I said, the whole cans of craft beer is starting to happen. So
it'd be cool. We're getting more demand now. People calling for it, which is why I asked. Of course. So
great. So so what are we tasting now?
this is our Mission, again out of San Diego. But
Okay.
This is our Imperial Stout.
All right. Oh, that's. Oh, wow. Holy moly. All right,
Oh, no,
show that
sushi.
to the camera.
Right over here?
Show that to the camera. Yes, this is why you want to come to the sushi bar, and it's all you can eat for.
All you can eat sushi, $25.
Holy moly, look at that. Okay.
You can of course order by the roll, but
It's the rainbow
Yeah,
roll,
yeah.
general, and our dragon roll on the right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. And for this roll, we're going to pair it with an Imperial Russian Stout,
yeah,
which should be really good foil, I think, for the
look nice with that
for
general.
the raw fish. Yeah, I think so. Oh wow, really, really nice and warming. Kind of caramel, molassesy.
Pick up caramel. A hint of coffee. Almost.
I was gonna say it has a kind of a coffee.
Almost
kind
a
of in the
little,
front, yeah.
almost a little soy kind of soy, which maybe
I think that's a soy on here.
I don't think
probably,
it
but
is.
we've
No,
got
it's
it.
in here. No, it definitely has like a little bit of a
Yeah.
yeah. I was at that when I was at Hops and Props. One of the reps for one of the breweries, I forget which one, came over to me. She was like, somebody just came and told me that they thought in our stout that they got hints of soy, and I thought that's just absurd. That's ridiculous. You can't get. So I go, no, it's actually legitimately. You can get, with enough
Really?
of the dark grains. Yeah, it's a legit flavor you can get out of it. So. Very nice. Definitely a big, meaty,
Yeah.
high alcohol. Not like the Kolsch. I'm not gonna knock this back.
No.
No, that would not be a good idea.
This is nice for the 3 days of cold weather that we have.
It is the 3-day winter that we had this year. It might have been a week.
When the
Yeah.
polar vortex.
It might have been a week.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So.
No, again, it's nice. It's just something that adds to our portfolio of being able to cater to anyone's needs.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Well, it's cold outside. You have that. You've got the fireplace here, the sushi bar. What more could you ask for? Tell us a story.
Tell us
That's
a
what we
story.
need.
What
We
do we
need a
need? We need a
story.
story.
Got a story?
I got a story. Let's see.
So I'm curious. I mean, looking at it, I'm fascinated by the beer world and how you get
Okay.
into it. So, I'm kind of curious. I mean, how does one get into?
Well, so Ballast Point, Jack White and I were roommates at UCLA, junior and senior year, and had an apartment near the campus. And he got a. We had started getting into actually. So darts got me into beer. So we started. Somebody got a dartboard
Nice.
in the apartment, and we just started playing darts all the time. And then and it got so like we had to study for finals. We had to have a no darts rule because like somebody would get up from studying and like go answer the phone, and the phone was near the dartboard, and they start throwing darts, and then immediately someone else, and then nobody would be studying. So we had to like hide the darts for finals. But then we wanted to find a place, and so the kind of one of the first real places in Los Angeles that had craft beer was McGinty's Pub in Santa Monica. And McGinty's Pub, we started going down there for the darts, and they had these incredible beers that we had never heard of, things like Sierra Nevada and Anchor Steam and beers from England. You know, nowadays it's pretty stuff you can see anywhere. But at the time, these were beers that nobody had ever heard of, and there was I think City of Angels Brewing Company, a previous incarnation. I know there's one now again, but there was a previous incarnation of that. So they had about 12 taps. It was like the first place I ever went to that had multiple taps and had craft beer, and all of these just completely blew our minds, and we got really into it. And then Jack got the book, The New Complete Joy of Homebrewing, for Christmas. And we both read it really quickly, and then we found out there was a homebrew store way out in the valley in Topanga, and went out there and bought what we needed and started brewing in our college apartment. So, and that's kind of where. And then I started teaching, and Jack went down to San Diego and opened Home Brew Mart. And then Yusuf was his first employee at Home Brew Mart. Yusuf is the current brewmaster at Ballast Point. Wow. And so it was kind of the three of us that got the business plan together and got the thing started. But it's Home Brew Mart was the sort of the parent corporation, and it was always Ballast Point was the company's actually Home Brew Mart, and Ballast Point is DBA. But now the new sign over Home Brew Mart says Home Brew Mart by Ballast Point. So we're pretending Ballast Point is the company. They run Home Brew Mart. Home Brew Mart is the company.
So for those that are watching this, that are probably at home going to COD,
buy a book on home brewing, right. And
and a dartboard,
and a dartboard. Buy a dartboard and start to come here to places like this and start to try beers that maybe you're pushing your boundaries a little bit, things you've never heard of before that will amaze and delight you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very cool. Like a Russian stout.
Like a Russian imperial stout. Yeah. Big and meaty, definitely. So not a hoppy beer at all. I mean, barely any hops detected there, but a lot of malt, huge amount of malt, a lot of warming alcohol, and enough bitterness to match the body of it. But it's not like an IPA where you're getting a lot of bitterness in the finish. It's really kind of just about kind of really rich, smoky flavors and
soy.
Yeah.
Soy.
Like a hint. I'm not saying it's overwhelmingly that.
For a higher...
First things I said were caramel and molasses and coffee.
For a higher alcohol content, I mean, you don't even notice it. It's very smooth.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a little complex cab. I mean, it's rich. Got a lot of rich...
It's a nice fruitiness in the finish. Very kind of a pretty sweet finish in there.
Not going to put you off.
No.
Oh, no.
It's your first stout. It's not going to.
Oh, no. This is. I mean, yeah. You're thinking 9.8% alcohol is going to be. It's going to grow hairs on your chest, but it's really nice.
Then they try this and then they think that all stouts are like this too. So
right.
Yeah.
But it is. You're right. Sure. It's a great introductory type. Reasons to get down to Vue. Look at all the things they've got.
There's a lot of reasons to get down to Vue. This place is great.
Several things all in one here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think we're also going to get a chance to meet with your mixologist too, and try one other aspect of drinking local.
Yeah, I'm going to have Javier come over and prepare you a cocktail that's on our specialty cocktail list. I'll tell you kind of the history behind it in the background, and then
Drink Local is now breaking into mixed drinks. Anthony, are we breaking a rule here? Is this allowed?
We're trendsetting.
We're violating the contract?
It's all local.
It's all local. We're drinking all Southern California.
Local spirits out of
local
San Diego.
Mixologist.
Mm-hmm. Right? And local
mixologist.
Yep.
Local mixologist, yeah.
We're going to consider local to be Southern California.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So all the other ingredients along with that is going to all be local. So.
All right.
We might even inspire someone to open a distillery out there.
We need a distillery.
Yeah.
All right.
That would be cool.
In case someone's getting any ideas on their dartboard.
So
Dartboard. You need a dartboard. So Drink Local is breaking new ground. This isn't beer. This is we're having cocktails now.
Yeah, this is a cocktail.
And we're here with Javier Santana, who's the mixologist here.
Yeah. So what we have here is a white linen. It is Ballast Point's Old Grove gin with some fresh squeezed lemon juice, some house-made simple syrup, a Saint Germain, another flower liqueur, and then topped off with a little soda. Now, underlying all of that is the fresh muddled cucumber.
Yeah, and that's a really nice
That is
blending of
incredible.
flavors right
Good.
there.
Good.
So, Javier, tell us about
Oh wow.
mixology, and you know, you've got a list of all these different types of craft cocktails.
Mixology is kind of a I don't know. I don't really think of it as mixology. I think of it as I'm a cocktail nerd. I'm a booze hound.
Okay.
So growing up, I've always been a history fan. So whatever it is, I really was drawn to. I would dig up everything that I could about it. So it was just a matter of time before gin, rum, vodka, so on and so forth. Bartending actually became something like that for me. Whether it be beer,
Right.
dating all the way back to Mesopotamia to spirits, and prohibition and the this and the that of everything. So mixology to me it's a new term that I'm not really a big fan of personally.
Okay.
I'm a bartender. I love what I do, and at the end of the day, if I can come out and be like, hey, you know what, try this. Maybe it's a little different than what you're used to, but if I can get a smile out of it, or hey, you know what, I'll see you again.
I think you're getting some serious smiles out of
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
right here.
Absolutely.
And you were talking about your love of Manhattans
Yeah.
and old fashioned, so you're kind of like bourbon based.
Oh, I'm a well.
Or
Like I said, I'm a booze hound, so I like
You're
it
a
all,
booze
man.
hound, okay.
No, but bourbon, I love drinking
Yeah.
bourbon. I love drinking different ryes, but I'm really a tequila man at heart.
Okay.
Tequila and beer are really the things that I love.
Okay.
If I'm sitting at home, that's what I'm drinking.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, with the Manhattans, there are so many different variations that growing up here in the Valley and then moving around with bartending and the mixology craze and whatnot. New York, Philadelphia is really where I kind of honed it, but I never saw a Manhattan menu. I always
Okay.
knew of all these different deals, but
Right.
Manhattans were never really. You have one,
Right.
the rye Manhattan.
Yeah.
And it gets made wrong constantly. But it's okay. My thing is I really want to showcase different Manhattans, and what I did with this menu is I took the New York Manhattan.
Right.
And then I took a couple of the borough variations of it. Each borough had their own version of a Manhattan.
So there's
you
a
have
Brooklyn and a
there's a
Bronx?
Brooklyn and a Bronx.
Okay.
So from there I took it and then I stretched it out a little bit and took it to New Orleans. So I've got some New Orleans-based
Okay.
Manhattans, if you will, with the Vue Grille and a de Louisiane. So, a touch of absinthe and some honey and orange, different things, Peychaud, bitters, fantastic drinks.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
So is there a Coachella Valley Manhattan?
we're working on it.
You're working on
We're
it?
working on it. Yeah, that one's
It's
going
got
to
to
be a
have
little bit more
probably maybe a
difficult.
little bit of some date or
Some
something.
dates and some citrus, something.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
So what's when you're mixing a Manhattan or any other cocktail? What are kind of the things you're looking for in terms of balance or flavors?
Oh
stuff like
yeah,
that?
I mean the key is always balance.
Okay.
You don't want something that when you taste it you think sweet, or you think whoa strong.
Right.
You always want that clean taste. Maybe you want different layers. It all depends on where you want to go with it.
Got it.
That's the beauty of being able to do something like this. You got to learn your product, but then you kind of just play with it. As you're learning, you get to play with it. So something like this is really an homage to one of my mentors, and it's actually his drink that it's my favorite drink that he came out with. And I kind of whenever I do something like this with a new cocktail menu, I try to pay back somebody who was influential to me.
All right.
So this is in homage to kind of one of my mentors.
Who was that?
Rene Dominguez. He really, kind of gave me a lot of the do's and don'ts and the whys and, of mixology, or bartending.
So somebody's going to drink local, and they decide, hey,
Absolutely.
let's go down to Vue Grille and Bar. and maybe somebody in the party wants to have some craft beer, but somebody wants craft cocktails. So is it something where they go, Javier, I'm thinking I want a burger, I want a steak or whatever. I typically drink, I don't have Manhattans, I don't know, rum and Coke or something like that.
That's where I get all these goosebumps.
I know.
And I'm like, no, you know, the total opposite way, because then, no joke, look at that.
Yeah.
Then I get to mix. Then I get to take a craft beer and a craft cocktail and mix them. Like, I'm a big fan of craft beer cocktails. So you can create, you can take anything. Beer is a heavily underutilized cocktail ingredient.
Well, we're going to do a whole episode with this guy.
It is, yeah.
We're going to do a whole episode with this guy.
So, yeah, I really love to sit down and mix different things. I try to make, there's beer cocktails. You have your chavelas and you have your, so on and so forth, these different things. But if you can sit down and make a craft cocktail out of beer and, be like, hey, try this. I make a sangria, if you will, out of a lighter style beer, for summertime.
Really?
It's fantastic. People don't even notice that people who hate beer will drink gallons of it. I've seen it happen.
Right.
Nice. And then, so you're talking about what you drink at home is tequila. Now, do you just drink tequila neat, or do you have it with something? I know often they do like a sort of a citrus chili thing on the side.
Yeah. The sangrita.
Sangrita.
Uh-huh.
Do you mix your own sangritas?
I do have sangrita that I make.
Okay.
But typically I just kind of sip on it. And actually, I drink a lot of local beer. I'm a big fan of what La Quinta Brewery is doing right now. I'm a big fan of what Ballast Point does. It just really depends on what, how I'm feeling. So sometimes it's tequila, sometimes it's bourbon.
So do you do a sangrita on the menu here?
I have one that I make on call.
On call.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So if somebody wanted that,
Absolutely.
they see the episode, they can come down and
Nice.
ask for it.
Absolutely.
All right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
cool. Well, we broke new ground. We
There we go.
we drank local with a
I kind of feel like
local
I could make this an hour-long episode now, but I think we need to come back and do another cocktails episode here with Javier. And
Well,
do some-
and
yeah.
Javier's been gracious enough to join us from away from his world back there. So need to get him back too. But
Right.
it's important. You got to get down here. You got to see Javier. You got to see Scott.
Oh yeah, you got to get down here.
It's at Vue Grille and Bar. Man, they drink.
Fantastic.
They're doing it. The
Craft
sushi's
beers.
amazing.
Sushi was amazing.
I haven't had anything in the kitchen yet, but I'm sure they put
Yeah.
some great
Well,
stuff out of the
we will.
kitchen.
So come down and
So-
see him, and just remember: drink local, drink responsibly. That's it.
All right. Cheers.
Fantastic. Cheers.
Dude, this is a fantastic drink.
Good. Great. I'm really good. I like it.